Hey, hey, hey! I hope you're having a great day. I sure am, because I'm just reading through some questions people asked me on Instagram. If we're just meeting, my name is Caroline Ravn. I'm a full-time magician and YouTuber. And yesterday, I asked on my Instagram, link below, by the way, go subscribe, because I'm awesome, obviously, hello. So I asked on my Instagram if people had any questions that I can reply to, and I got some weird ones. Let me tell you. Let's start with the first one. If a turtle is without its shell, is it homeless or is it naked? I'm not sure I'm the right person to respond to this, but my instant reaction to this, of course he's homeless, because he lives in his shell. Or does he live in a cave? Where does a turtle live? This gives me so many questions, like extra questions, so maybe he's just naked. Yeah, he's just naked. That's what we're gonna go with. Moving on. What is a good card trick opener for a bar restaurant in close-up? Not too long. Well, an invisible deck is a great trick for any walk-around situation, an instant reset if you're doing it the right way. I also think that just doing anything that is a sandwich routine or a quick snap change or anything that is just, instant magic in your face, that's something that's gonna be a great opener. Or just, what I used to do, actually still do a lot, when I do walk around, I pull out my deck of cards, whoop, from somebody's ear. This was Post-its, so that was not as magical. But yeah, I usually just do that. I walk up to a table or whatever, and I just pull out a deck of cards from somebody's ear, and they're like, what? And that's a great opener, because they're like, did I really have the cards behind there? Of course they know that they didn't, but it's really nice, and it's a shocker. It's like they're used to a coin behind the ear, and this is something different, and it's a much bigger object. Like, look at this. This is a big object. And then you go behind the ear and you come out like this and you hold it like in your fingertips. It looks like it's impossible. But if you just add the right timing and speed to this and you go back. So I usually just hold it like this as I go back. And then when I'm behind the head, I just push it to the edge of my fingertips and then I pull it out. I hope that helps. To me, it's a great trick. You're welcome, by the way. If you're getting any value, by the way, from all of the videos that I'm doing, yes you are, make sure you hit the likes and subscribe buttons down here, because, it really does help. It really does. And also, it lets me know that you love me so much. There's another question here. Do you think having an Instagram page is basically the same as a website? No, it's not the same, but it's as, if I wouldn't say basic, but it's as fundamental, I'd say, for entertainers these days to have an Instagram as to have a website. It doesn't have to be a big website with multiple landing pages and contact forms everywhere and newsletters everywhere and blog posts or whatever. It doesn't have to be like that. But please have a website, because a lot of corporations, when they're booking something, they're gonna look for you on socials, website, might even look into your register and see if you're, an offender of some sort or whatever. But make sure that it's easy for people to get the right information about you and see you in action somehow. Instagram is a great way for that. So a website needs to be more professional, of course, like it's the greatest photos you have and just the best quotes you have and all of that stuff. It's more of a fixed item, whereas social media is a living, growing, breathing organism. And think of it that way. Add personality, add who you are, tell stories, but also make sure that when a new client of yours comes in and just checks, they understand instantly, okay, this is a magician, this is what this person does. So it's two very different things. What version of 20th century silk do you use? Great question. I don't know, actually, because it was a gift from Tom Stone, so I don't know which one it is. If I'm being honest, I think he just sewed it together himself, because he's handy like that, and he's an amazing mentor, by the way. He's great. A new question is, how to be successful in getting enough people to jumpstart costs for new cards? That's a big one. That's a really, really big one. I never, had a big issue funding my cards because I teamed up with Lorenzo at Stockholm 17, who already had a huge following, and that really did help because he's so niche at what he's doing. If you go through his Instagram, please do, because it's amazing. If you just scroll through, you'll see that he is the best playing card designer ever. And he also wins Designer of the Year every year for this reason. So he had a huge following, and that really, really helped. And then after we had one successful Kickstarter, it was easier to, that was the only one that we did, but it's also easier if you have already one product that is out there and it's make sense to people, then it's easier to resell to people, basically. So here's another one. Why magic? You know what? I ask myself the same question every day. I'm kidding. Well, I started doing magic when I was really old. I started when I was 3. It was 30 years ago, which you can't believe, by somebody who's only 28, obviously. But I started because my grandfather did tricks for me when I was a kid, and I loved it. It was great. He made me happy, and I was, filled with wonder, and it was great, and it was lovely. And, I remember when I was a kid, I was like, I really want to make sure that people feel the same way. Because I was a bullied child too. So I was, every day at school, I felt bad. And it wasn't like very physical bullying. It was more like mentally or like psychological bullying. And I knew early on in my life that I wanted to make sure that people feel good and feel included. So maybe it didn't have to be magic. But in my case, that was what was around. And it pays the bills. So, and I also have very much, I get a lot of joy performing magic. So it's, and sometimes when I'm right before doing a show or whatever, I can be like, oh, I don't really feel like performing today. But those are the days I'm having the most fun when I'm on a stage. So why magic? Well, sometimes I get the question like, how did you get into magic? And I think maybe the more interesting and more relevant question is, how did you get out of magic? Because I think that all kids are into magic, aren't we? Everybody's like super impressed by all the things that we get to do. And, for a small kid, just a microwave is magical. So, I mean, doing coins behind the ear, card tricks, or whatever it is, it's huge. And I just happened to be living with somebody who was performing magic for me like on a regular basis. So that really helped a lot. How did it feel to give a TEDx talk? Amazing. Scary. I don't remember the first one I did. Oh, actually, have I ever shared this story? That we had to reshoot my first TEDx talk. I don't know if I told this story before. So it's a live streamed event. So everybody's not everybody. People are sitting in the seats in the theater, and some people bought an online ticket. So they're gonna see the show online, and they record everything, and then they edit everything, and you get the video, right? We did a technical rehearsal, because you always should. And I didn't like the opening, because they didn't do it the way that I told them to do. So I just stood up, and I said, you know what, we're gonna have to do this again. And the MC, she ran to the bathroom to, whatever. And so she wasn't ready to come back out. So it was like a turbulent 5 minutes of weird stuff that happened. But I knew that I wanted the video to be good. So I took the time, I reloaded my energy, and we did it again, and it was amazing. It was really, really nice. I haven't thought about this story in a long time. It was a game changer, actually. I'm very happy that I did it. Well, you know what? I'm gonna link all of the TEDx's below, so you're gonna see it on TED.com, so you can see the actual performances there. So it's gonna be the first one on there. I can't remember the name. I think it's Childlike Wonder is the one. It was the opening for that trick that I didn't like it, so we had to reshoot it. And we shot the entire thing, so. Next question. What is your biggest goal in your career? Hosting Eurovision Song Contest. Oh, actually, maybe my biggest goal in my career, that's my biggest gig, I guess, that maybe my biggest goal is to never have to take another job. I love doing magic. I hope I do magic until the day before I die, because the day I die, I kind of have plans. So possibly the day before would be a good day. Yeah, that's my dream. Why is that my biggest goal? Well, because it makes me happy. It really does, even on bad days. And what is your number one advice for entertainers? Get out there and make offers. Deliver on those offers. Don't over-promise things you can't do, but do say yes to opportunities you're not ready for. Let that sink in. What inspires you to evolve and develop you, your show, and business all the time? I just like running a lot and being under constant pressure and not being able to feel my own breath because I'm always up here. No, what inspires me? Well, I want to look in the mirror and be proud of myself. And I want to, in 15 years, when my kids look at me, they're gonna be proud of who I am and what I did, even when they were kids. I want them to see that everything is possible. Because, I'm a woman in the most male industry, like male-dominated industry in the world, possibly. Maybe dictatorship is a little more male-dominated, possibly. But you know what? I think I am just very driven in general. I've always been like that. I'm used to a big to-do list. I am also used to always having too many things in the air. And I think as soon as I don't have anything to do, I'm not happy. And that's why I wasn't happy the first 3-4 months of the pandemic, because everything just closed down. So the first week of the pandemic, I was like, some time off, that's nice. And you know, that was really good, really good. And I needed a break, because during 2019, my life was a shit show. Like, I was constantly on the run, and I was coming back, and I went on 1 or 2 Tinder dates, and then I went away to do something else, and then you know, it was horrible in a way and not very constructive. And I was living a life that was so stressful that I was like, sometimes I could look at my schedule and I would be like, so when will I do laundry next time? Because it's impossible to find a slot in my calendar. I ended up washing my clothes on the ships, actually. So, I mean, it did work out. But yeah, I think maybe that's the answer. I just love having things to do all the time. So during the pandemic, when everything shut down, then it was really hard for me to I don't know why, and I wouldn't call it a depression. It was more like somebody took away the only thing that I loved and cared about. And so I had to go all out. So I rented a theater with 1,120 seats, but who's counting? And I did a show for, like, globally. I live streamed a show and I sold tickets, and it was great. And we hired a TV production team. And the theater we went to, they told me that you're only allowed to have 11 guests. So I invited 11 guests to sit in this huge theater, and we mic'd them, everybody up, and you know, we did the show, and it was great. And it's here on YouTube, so you can watch it anytime you want for free. Maybe you can hit like and subscribe and share it with your friends. So, next question. How do you do your hair? Well, my hair is awesome. Thank you for asking. I hope is it a good hair day? I'm just checking my monitor. Well, I do my hair myself. Yeah, thank you. I do this. I actually use this one. Not sponsored. This is my favorite mousse. And then I have a Dyson Airwrap. It's the best thing I ever bought. I also have these. I didn't do it today, but I have. You know what? I have a video or photo of me, whatever it was, the other day. I'm gonna insert that here. You can see it right here. This is how it looks with me getting ready. Yeah, it's a whole thing. I'm obviously very serious about my content creation today. Yeah. Next question. When is your podcast coming out? I love to listen to you. It's so inspiring and so great. I need more. Whew. Did we just say the pressure and the things that I do and I live a very stressed life? But you know what? Maybe it's a good idea. Podcast might be a good idea. Also, what's great about podcasts is that I can interview people and I can learn as I'm working and, you know, networking and all of that stuff. I would love to do a podcast. That would also be something that works into other parts of my dream jobs, which is I would like to be the voice of a Disney princess one day. Obviously. And if people can hear my voice all the time, they're gonna be like, oh my god, she'd be perfect as Merida. Too late. I actually did send in a application to be the Swedish version of Merida, but it didn't happen. I also sent in to be Dory for the Swedish version. Didn't happen. So I'm thinking I'm gonna be so famous that Disney and Pixar can't refuse me. They just can't say no. They're gonna call me. They're gonna knock on my door and they're gonna be like, Caroline, please be Dory in Dory 5, and I'll be okay, because Ellen didn't want to, or whatever. Those were the questions that I had. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something, and as always, stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.